But as I said, our focus today is on the battle for Bengal that is about to reach the halfway stage. 8-phase polling in this battleground state. Tomorrow is the fourth and many believe a critical round. Kolkata and areas around Kolkata will go to the polls, and many believe that this is the round that the Trinamool Congress must win, and in a way the BJP hopes to take away as it tries to wrest power in Bengal. It's been a hectic period of campaigning, and all eyes will be on the voter tomorrow. We'll analyze who's going to win Kolkata in a moment, but first take a look at this story.
In less than 12 hours from now, Bengal's 44 seats will go to polls in phase 4 of the assembly elections. This phase will see a bitter battle between the Trinamool Congress and the challenger BJP. Of the 44 seats, 14 are spread across the 2 districts of North Bengal, 9 in Cooch Behar and 5 in Alipurduar. The BJP has an advantage in these 2 districts as the party had won both the Lok Sabha seats in 2019. The rest of the seats are in South 24 Parganas, Hooghly and Howrah. The TMC has an edge in South 24 Parganas and Howrah. Phase 4 witnessed an aggressive campaign by both TMC and BJP. For the BJP, Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself led the charge, along with Amit Shah, JP Nadda and Yogi Adityanath. The TMC campaign was led by Mamta herself. The key candidates in Phase 4 include BJP's Babul Supriyo, who's contesting against Trinamool's Arup Biswas from Toliganj. Another constituency to watch is Behala Paschim, where Mamta aide Partha Chatterjee is contesting against actor and BJP candidate Srabanti Chatterjee. Even as the state votes in Phase 4 on Saturday, a high-octane campaign for Phase 5 is underway.
আমি এই সব কথা বলার পরে আমি জানি আপনারা আমাকে খুন করার প্ল্যান করবেন, আমার পাটা চোট করে দিয়েছেন, এবার খুন করার প্ল্যান করবেন, আমার যায় আসে না, আমি যতদিন বাঁচবো আমি বাঘের বাচ্চার মতো লড়বো।
तृणमूल कांग्रेस का फ्रस्ट्रेशन उनके व्यवहार से, उनके भाषणों से, उनकी बातचीत से स्पष्ट रूप से दिखाई पड़ता है। ये क्या कहना चाहती है? लोगों को अराजकता की ओर ले जा रही है, चुनाव को शांतिपूर्ण ढंग से समाप्त नहीं होने देना उनका उद्देश्य है।
While the poll battle is at the halfway mark, Shah, in an interview to India Today, claimed the victory will be theirs.
तीनों चरण में भारतीय जनता पार्टी को अप्रत्याशित समर्थन बंगाल की जनता का मिला है। हमारे एक आकलन के हिसाब से 63 से 68 सीट, 63 to 68 सीट के बीच में भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस 3 चरण के अंदर जीत रही है।
जुमला बाबू खूब বড় বড় কথা বলছেন, এই সিট জিতবে, কত সিট পাবে। উনি বুঝে গেছেন যে বিজেপির অবস্থা কি, তাই আমরা আগেও বলেছিলাম এই সব মাইন্ড গেমস খেলছেন।
The battle now boils down to whether the BJP can breach TMC's stranglehold on the cities. The TMC, on the other hand, will try to regain its lost ground in rural areas. With Paulami Saha and Himanshu Mishra, Bureau Report, India Today.
So let's then set the stage for this big debate. Is Kolkata going to decide? Can it prove a decider in this election? Or is the real battle in Bengal being fought in rural Bengal? Is Kolkata still a TMC bastion? Can the BJP make a dent there this time? And will this rural-urban divide get sharpened in 2021? Just some of the questions we'll raise. I'm joined by special guests, Saurav Sikdar, the BJP spokesperson, Suparno Moitro, the Trinamool Congress spokesperson, and Kamrud Zaman Chaudhary, the Congress's spokesperson. With me are intrepid correspondent and head of bureau here, Indrajit Kundu, and Paulomi Saha, who's been tracking Bengal for the last couple of months for us. Thank you all very much for being here. Let's turn to the Netas first. I want to ask you, Saurav Shikdar, there's a sense that that Kolkata is not a bastion for the BJP. Kolkata is firmly a Trinamool Congress bastion. The BJP is playing catch-up in Kolkata. Do you agree that urban middle class is still with Trinamool and Mamta as they were in 2019?
Not exactly, Rajdeep ji. See, Calcutta is always with the change. Calcutta is always a change setter. If you see the 10 years back history, when people were, afraid about left and they are not satisfied with them, TMC gradually has taken over the Calcutta as an urban vote. So now if free and fair election happening this year, so definitely even Calcutta's voters are also with us.
You believe Kolkata voters, Suparnada, do you believe that for the Trinamool Congress, this is now do or die? You have to at least retain your bastion in Kolkata if you have any chance of reaching the halfway mark.
First of all, before I say anything, Mr. Sardesai, let me tell you, it's a pleasure to be hosted by you. So that's a privilege to be hosted by such a journalist like you.
Thank you.
Now, let me tell you that we believe in democracy and we believe in Thomas Jefferson, that citizenry is the bulwark of democracy. We have served the people for the last 10 years. Good, bad, ugly, we have served the people. There could be gaps. While we're in the government, we still are in the government. We would appeal to the people to give us one more chance so we can do course correction and do better. But our thought process will remain the same. We believe people are the ultimate for which the political party
Very
exists.
interesting. Here is a politician saying that you are accepting that some mistakes have been made and that you need to course correct.
Yes.
You are being honest enough. That means you 10 years of rule and now you are saying you need to course correct. I mean, is that a recognition that there is an element of anti-incumbency or fatigue that has set in with Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool, and therefore you need to course correct?
A very good question. Now, as I say, governance and development both are a work in progress. So as we go along, we realize that what are the changes we need to incorporate, and we have been doing it continuously, and that's why we have voted back to power in 2016, and an improved Trinamool Congress would be voted back to power in 2021. That's our belief in the people, Mr. Sardesai.
Okay, before I leave the mic, you said something at the start, you believe in democracy. You say you believe in democracy, your leader is saying that the elections are being rigged or managed by the CRPF. The Election Commission has sent her a notice. Do you believe these elections are free and fair in Bengal or not?
I would say that we have only said, our leader Mamata Banerjee has clearly mentioned that we have a lot of respect for the central forces. But unfortunately for the last couple of years, independent institutions and central forces have come under a shadow, and the onus would lie on them to come out of that shadow. That's what my leader
Are
has
you saying that I repeat, are you saying central forces are being misused?
We feel that a certain section of the central forces are being directed to do something which is against their DNA.
That is strongly objectionable. Central forces are here under the Election Commission, not under any political party or any ministry. And they are fighting to protect the democratic right of West Bengal. Raising question on them is an undemocratic thing.
No, but Sauravda, the argument which is being made is that the central forces, yes, are supposedly run under the guidance of the Election Commission, but the opposition is claiming the Election Commission itself is taking direction from the center.
They are raising finger on Election Commission. Today in a show, one of their spokesperson has raised finger on Supreme Court also. Why Supreme Court has rejected that plea of CBI inquiry on Mamta's attack? Now Rajdeep, one thing you should understand, in Calcutta, which you are saying is a bastion of Trinamool, and Mamata Banerjee had to fight from Nandigram, not from Calcutta. She is born and brought up in Calcutta. She has been elected as Chief Minister from Calcutta. Now she has to fight from Nandigram.
Good point, good point. So what do I respond? If Mamata Banerjee believes that Trinamool is her bastion, that she has been elected repeatedly from Bhawanipur, why does she have to go and fight in Nandigram?
I'm very grateful to Mr. Shikdar for giving me a full toss, which I possibly would like to hit for a 6.
Okay.
The point is that when Mamata Banerjee was fighting an election in Bhawanipur, they said, do you have the gall to come and fight and contest from Nandigram? She said, I can fight from anywhere. She went and filed a nomination there. Now, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, who also happens to be the principal campaign manager for the Bharatiya Janata Party, was so scared that he was lobbying some sort of thing in the air that will Mamata Banerjee contest for the second seat, which he usually is used to. She's not going to do that. So the point is this, Didi, 294 assembly seats, it is in the name of Didi. All of us fight.
I see. So she is your candidate in all 294 seats of Bengal.
And we are not embarrassed about it.
Okay. You know, Kamrul Zaman Sahab, I have come to you last because many believe you are the third front and the spoiler. That the only role, you know, there was a time when the Congress, 10, 15 years ago, the Congress used to dominate Kolkata. Even as the left would dominate the rest of Bengal, you would dominate Kolkata. Now you are in a situation where even in Kolkata, you've lost ground in recent times. What is the role of the Congress in this election in Bengal? Let's get it clear.
Okay, I believe our party to be underdog in this election. And it has to be a clear-cut surprise on the 2nd of May.
Right.
Why I am saying this? We have started a very unique social engineering this time in West Bengal. We have taken the Adivasis, the Dalit, the minorities, the deprived section of the society and formed a very formidable coalition, which is a Samyukt Morcha, and it is fighting this election with a different narrative. We might not have the millions of dollars or millions of rupees that the BJP seems to be having. The entire union cabinet is in Kolkata right now, campaigning for this thing. But we are going to the masses with a definite roadmap for the next future.
Who is your enemy out of these two gentlemen? Enemy meaning which of these parties are you going to support if there is a hung assembly? This is a big buzz in Kolkata today. That the elections could throw up a hung assembly. What will the Congress do?
It is totally hypothetical to say right now, when there are 5 phases of the election still left, that we will be in coalition with somebody. We do not need anybody's help to form the government, because since we are in a confident position that the third front will be able to form his own government, you just go to the ground level right now.
Asab, who is your main enemy here? Trinamool Congress or BJP?
Rajdeep, do you believe that India is going through a very bad autocracy phase right now? Trinamool Congress, led by Mamata Banerjee out here in Bengal, is an autocratic state right now. She's trying to develop it. Same way, Narendra Modi is developed into an autocratic state in the state. So naturally, Congress, which gave freedom to India, is fighting to protect the democratic status of this country.
So you're saying they're both autocrats?
Of course.
They're both autocrats.
Of course,
Mr. Sikdar, you want to quickly respond, then I'll go to the journalist.
I mean, Kamaruj Jiwanda is a very nice person, but I beg to differ, Dada, if you are saying about autocracy, being a congressman, I mean...
Why? I mean,
because now, see...
You are ruling in Delhi, they are ruling in Bengal.
Congress now become a Parivar's party, family's party. Where are their leaders? Even
so
Dada,
they are a Parivar party, you are an autocratic party.
Dada,
Rahul Gandhi says, "Hum do, hamare do."
Dada, we are only the democratic party in the country. We are the biggest party, and anybody can lead our party anytime. If he has the...
Yes, very quickly.
Let me rebut.
Yes.
Yeah, if I say that I'm a democratic party, then I have to prove it. You don't need to change the CBI director at night 12 o'clock. You don't have to bring in the laws in the parliament through the back door. You don't have to push through the legislation during corona times. You have brought in a farmers bill, which is a totally example of the height of autocracy. You had pushed that bill without even consulting the stakeholders. You have brought in other bills in this parliament without even consulting the stakeholders.
But is that an issue in Bengal? Let me take that to my journalistic friends. Because what is the issue, Indrajit, in Bengal this time, particularly in Kolkata? When I look around me, Mamata Banerjee invested a lot in Kolkata, especially in her first term, to try and transform Kolkata. She was rewarded in 2016 by Kolkata. Even in 2018, the Trinamool swept Kolkata. Is this still a bastion? Have things changed in 2021? Is the Paribartan wave also sweeping into Kolkata. What's your sense?
Well, Rajdeep, that's true because, the 15-odd seats of Kolkata and Greater Kolkata area, it still does remain a bastion of the Trinamool Congress. And we've seen that as far as 2019 Lok Sabha election results are concerned. If you see the breakup, Trinamool swept this area. And we clearly remember that incident where the Bidyasagar statue was vandalized and how that helped garner more support for the Trinamool Congress. Yes, but as far as issues are concerned, there is a stark division. You ask anybody across West Bengal, be it rural, urban, people will tell you that joblessness is a very important issue. And of course, lower level corruption that is plaguing the Trinamool Congress at the grassroots, something that because of which there is a seething anger amongst people against the ruling establishment.
But do you get a sense, Paulumi, as you travel across southern Bengal, that the anger, if there is, against Mamta's government is greater in rural Bengal than urban Bengal? Urban Bengal remains skeptical of the BJP, or is that only the middle class Bhadralok who perhaps intellectually have a problem with the BJP? Or even have those problems also now evaporated?
No, well, the BJP is definitely working at it in order to try and get the Bhadralok community back on the, back on board with the BJP. You heard the Home Minister speak today where he said that, infiltration is a concern, that even, the Bhadralok sitting in, the Bengali Babu is concerned about in Kolkata. So yes, the BJP is trying to, reach out to the intelligentsia, the intellectual community with, the kinds of Lieutenant General Subroto Saha, Ashok Lahiri, Shopon Das Gupta, them being made into candidates as well. The BJP is trying to breach that bastion. If you thought that the Bhadralok community was with the TMC, but as far as the rural part is concerned, that is something that the BJP has been able to near complete breach as well, which of course has been the struggle for the TMC to in fact regain lost ground on.
That's an interesting observation. Mr. Sikdar, you want to respond? Interestingly, it appears the BJP is stronger in rural Bengal than urban Bengal. In most other parts of the country, the BJP tends to be more powerful in urban areas. Is the urban middle class, the Bengali Babu, as Amit Shah referred to, still wary of the BJP? You are still seen as a party of outsiders in a way, not a party of Bengal.
Rajdeep Dada, surprisingly, BJP won his first ever Lok Sabha seat in near Calcutta only.
When Shama Prasad Mukherjee was
No, 98 and 99.
You're talking about BJP, I can even talk back to the Jansangh days.
Yeah, and even in recent 98 and 99, 98 BJP first won the Dam seat.
Yes.
So that is a very much urban seat. So how come you say that BJP only is a outsiders party and it is a, but yes.
I don't see the same anger in Kolkata against Mamta that I see in rural Bengal.
The problem is, if you see the vote percentage of previous election, comparatively Calcutta and surroundings, I'm not talking about the outskirts of Calcutta, proper Calcutta city's vote percentage, little bit lesser than the rural. Because most of the urban voters, like who stays in a apartment or some housing, they actually feared to cast their vote. Even last corporation election also, there were lots of violence in Calcutta. And after corporation election, only election happened that was in Lok Sabha election. And you see the vote percentage has increased like anything, even in Calcutta. Both of seats we lost, but we stood second. So if this time also people will vote and will do a very good result here.
Suparnada, let's be very clear. As I said, Mamta Banerjee appeared to invest a lot of her personal political capital in saying that I'm going to rebuild Kolkata. You can see the lighting that's taking place. She said, I'm going to make it a safer city, a better city. And for a while it does appear that's happened. But do you agree that even in Kolkata, there are people who feel that there is corruption in the municipal corporation, that things have to be done with giving cut money, that if I want to construct a building, there are people I have to go to and from then I get a money. Corruption is one of the bigger issues when you talk of course correction. Didi was seen as someone who was taking on corruption. Today her party is identified with corruption. How do you respond?
Now, this is such a serious question. This is not about a BJP, TMC or a Congress matter. It's a very, very serious matter. Now, if I take you back to the Rajiv Gandhi days, he had mentioned that if 1 rupee is sent from the center to the states, the final beneficiary only gets 15 paise. And gradually the system of the direct benefit transfer came into being. So what will happen is this: we are also working on the last mile connectivity. A lot of things have improved. We are not staying in a utopian world that I'm going to say something which will sound utopian in nature.
Are you accepting that there has been cut money? Are you accepting there has been tola bazi? Are you accepting that if I want to construct a house in Kolkata at times I have to give money to specific people, yes or no, to syndicates? Are there syndicates or not?
If there could be monopsonic markets, if there could be oligopolic structures in India level, then syndicate per se is not a bad word, because when a couple of people coming together, then syndicate is not a bad word. But if anything is abuse becomes a bad word. I am saying that there are issues with us because we have run the government for 10 years and they will be raising the issues, but sometimes they level such allegations against us which may be difficult for them also to prove and to settle.
Okay, yes, Kamru Zaman, you're smiling when you're hearing Shivarna Das speak. Yes.
That's the chronic problem that Bengal faces today right now. We all had voted TMC to power in 2011 for a better Bengal. Now what happened is that all those people in the villages, the rural and the urban divide that you were speaking about,
yes,
the voter clarity that comes in is the opposition to the corrupt low-level politicians that are ruling the Trinamool Congress in the panchayats and the municipal corporations of rural Bengal as well as in urban Bengal. Now what happened is 2019, we could not give them a formidable opposition wherein those anti-TMC votes could not be diverted to any other party other than the BJP. Now since this time, we have given a very good social engineering that I was telling you about. We had given the voters a very good opposition wherein these voters, they are finding a way to cast their votes to the Sanyuk Morcha or the Third Front.
I'm going to ask the question that is often not asked, but Indrajit, why don't you take it? Hindu-Muslim divides. Everywhere one goes, there is this undercurrent, this narrative that this election is in a way being fought on religious divides. Is that religious divide there in Kolkata or not? Is there a sense that you go to certain neighborhoods, they are Trinamool neighborhoods, others are BJP neighborhoods? You see that in rural Bengal. Is it true of urban Bengal as well or not?
It's very stark in rural Bengal, and we got to see that in Nandigram, when Mamata Banerjee was sitting at Boyal at a polling station, and we could see the religious divide with Trinamool Congress supporters from one community with BJP supporters belonging to the other community coming literally face to face. So it's very stark in rural Bengal. Communal divide has always been at the subliminal level in West Bengal, but in recent politics, with identity politics gaining ground, that has been brought to the absolute surface. It's there, in urban, in Kolkata as well. Yes, there is a communal divide within the Bhadralok class as well. There is no denying of that fact, and that, in a sense, has gained momentum with the kind of, campaign that the BJP has done.
Okay, let me go for a moment to my colleague Preeti Chaudhary, who's also joining us from Thakurwad. Preeti, are you also seeing a rural-urban divide where urban Bengal seems less prone to these religious politics compared to rural Bengal? Again, this is a reversal of what happens in other parts of the country. Usually urban areas tend to be more communal. In Bengal, it appears rural Bengal is where the Hindu-Muslim divide is much sharper than in Kolkata.
You know, it cuts both ways, Rajdeep. I've seen it even in the urban pockets. If I talk about Howrah, I was in Howrah, and one could see it, and Howrah is primarily an urban pocket which is concerned. So yes, there was a polarization in terms of religion where Howrah was concerned, but you're right, it runs way more deeper in pockets, in rural pockets as well. But I would reckon, Rajdeep, very quickly, if there is going to be one vote bank which is going to buck that polarization, which is the woman vote bank, because I've been for the last 3-4 days just speaking to multitude of women cutting across the rural and the urban belt. In that aspect, they are not thinking on, rural lines. For example, today I was in a village where I had a woman who's a widow, so she gets a pension of 1,000 rupees from Mamata Banerjee. And the first thing she told me was, when she came up, when Didi came up with the term Ma Mati Manush, Ma for her was not Durga, she was talking about me. You know, I was the head of my household right then. I didn't have a husband. Today I'm a widow. She took care of me then. She's taking care of me now. So that pretty much, you know, goes on to somewhere down the line show the kind of affection she still holds in the heart of the, you know, Bengali woman. But like I said, it cuts across party lines. I've been in the urban pocket as well. And I have met a lot of women, Rajdeep, in the urban belt who are sold to the Modi dream.
Very interesting because, you know, Paulomi, there are two M's that I keep hearing, three sometimes. One is Matuas, I hear of Muslims, and I hear of Mahilas. Mamata Banerjee has traditionally done much better among women than men. Do you sense that as you've traveled, women have a greater affection for Mamata? Has that also changed in the last couple of years?
Well, as far as the women voter is concerned, obviously, you know, she has had a great amount of traction with the women voters, the Mahila voters, as you say. But it definitely has changed. As I look at the battleground right now, women are coming out and them talking about the joblessness, you know, my son is jobless, you know, who's going to answer for that? They're talking about the cut money issue as well. So these are some of the issues that they're talking about as well and taking a stance about it.
Interesting. You know, for a moment back to one of those M's, Muslims. Be honest with me, Mr. Shikdar. You want to divide Bengal. You blame Mamata Banerjee for playing Muslim vote bank politics. What is the answer? Hindu vote bank politics. Is that right or wrong?
No, never. We never went for any vote bank politics. We don't even believe.
Jihadi Didi, what are you trying to say?
We Rajdeep Da, we don't even believe in vote bank politics. That we respect each and every voters, and we just want our vote to be cast in basis of our work. We never believe in vote bank politics.
Adhikari says you should send people to Pakistan. According to Amit Shah today, Ghuspaitiya or infiltrators have entered Kolkata. My point is, when you play that politics, are you not somewhere trying to send a message to one community? The Muslims are your enemies. Let's consolidate. Let's be honest.
This is circumstances, because Mamata Banerjee also said, I am ready to take kick from the cow who gives us the milk. Firhad Hakim says there is a mini Pakistan in Calcutta. Other TMC leaders said we can make 4 mini Pakistan. So, I mean, if this is not vote bank politics and protesting of all this, I don't think so. That is.
So, when you say Jai Shri Ram, for example,
yes,
what is the message?
Well, we hail Lord Sri Ram. We can say Lord Sri Ram. Kamarda can say Allahu Akbar.
No, in an election campaign, you can say it in a. No, do you want to do it?
We don't use religion for our identity. Sorry. Last 2-3 days ago, one photograph of Prime Minister Modi with one BJP worker wearing a skull cap. You must have seen that video, photo, which went so viral. This is just nothing but a SPG protectee of the highest level getting access to a very low-level BJP worker with a skull cap in his head. What is this? This is pure vote bank politics, appealing to a particular community.
Have you not played vote bank politics?
We never played vote bank.
Have you not played your politics
let me be very honest. We played community politics, but we never played vote bank politics, sir. Please don't be mistaken about communal politics and community politics.
Prime Minister, he is our biggest leader also, Kamarda. He is not only the Prime Minister, he is our biggest leader.
One minute. Mamata Banerjee responded to the election commission the other day when she was attacked for saying that you are appealing to Muslim votes, saying Prime Minister is appealing for Hindu votes. I mean, today we were in central Kolkata, the drains are overflowing, there are no wires, the wires are all over the place. I don't hear people talking about the issues of how do I improve the infrastructure of Kolkata, how do I get jobs. Hindu-Muslim is so much easier at election time, because that is how you play your politics.
That is the total failure of the Trinamool government, because they only ran the corporation as well as the state government. And Modi ji called for to stop vote bank politics. He said, "Agar Hindu bolte to kya hota?" We are not.
Yes.
You go to Bangladesh, pray in the Mathua temple, and you are appealing to which caste of the community? Are you appealing to the general masses? Can you say that, okay, fine, we are having a minus 17.4% employment rate in Bengal. When we come to power, we'll bring that down to 1% to 2%.
No, the BJP is saying they're going to bring in industry, they're going to bring in SEZ, they're going to transform Bengal.
Sir, we are 131st position in the global ranking of the Human Development Index in all over India. Bengal stands at 28th position. We cannot be just hypocrites and say that, okay, Hindu-Muslim will win us elections. I'm not in that into politics.
Let's be honest. In 2011, Mamta came to power smashing the left, and one of the things she did was she played religious and caste politics to break the left. Now the chickens have come home to roost because the BJP realized religion is being brought into Bengal politics, caste is being brought. We'll also do it. Mamta started giving stipends to imams. The BJP said that is appeasement. When Moharram and Durga Puja processions controversy took place, the BJP said Mamta is siding with Muslims. So in a way, because she wanted to defeat the left, she needed the Muslim vote. Now the BJP has consolidated the Hindu vote by taking over the opposition vacuum by the decline of the left.
Mr. Sardesai, you have found the representative of All India Trinamool Congress has been extremely honest in this show. One.
Yes.
So please understand that Mr. Shigda's party, the entire belief of that party is majoritarianism. The sustenance of the party is how do about advocacy of majoritarianism and belief in that. They believe in Akhand Hindu Rashtra. That's their concept.
I must tell you that Mamta Banerjee was once an ally of the BJP when Mr. Vajpayee was Prime Minister.
That was a different BJP altogether. Mr. Sardesai, you have much more experience than many of us standing here today. So let's not talk about the then BJP, and I know that Mr. Shigda's family also, he comes from a different family altogether also. So let's not talk about that BJP. We are talking about BJP 2.0. Now in this BJP 2.0, they would just like to win. Rules are not important for them, one. And second, if they would like to bring that avowed parivartan that they are talking about. Ashol parivartan. Thank you, sir, for correcting me.
Yes.
Now, if they would like to bring that avowed ashol parivartan, that avowed ashol parivartan has already taken place, or Mr. Modi, the great Sri Narendra Damodar Das Modi, has already waved that magic wand, that it's a cash for coupons, that the villagers have become so rich in Bengal, in Raidigi, that they possibly could pay 1,000 rupees to buy BJP coupons to be a part of the 1st April program. Mamta Banerjee has done it in 10 years, or Mr. Modi has done it in weeks. If Mr. Modi can do that, I will really want Mr. Modi to be in Bengal as the Chief Minister.
I want to ask you this, Mr. Shigdar. Is it true that the BJP has pumped in unimaginable resources to the point where you are buying votes?
No,
you are being accused of buying votes.
Absolutely rubbish.
Using these cash coupons.
Absolutely rubbish. This is a poor, Mamta Banerjee, Didi is really looking frustrated. Sometimes she wanted to fix the match by calling our leaders. Sometimes she is raising finger on election commission. Sometimes she raising finger on CRPF Central Forces. And she is just trying all poor tricks to overcome this. And
so no cash coupons, no cash coupons?
Is what by BJP only?
Okay, by BJP, Indrajit, did you find any evidence? Are there efforts being made to buy votes? I've heard of this in Tamil Nadu, where money flows like water. In this election, we are finding money even in Bengal. In a relatively poor state, I'm told candidates are spending lakhs and crores of rupees.
As far as this entire campaign blitzkrieg is concerned, it's there for everybody to see. You don't need to, question the political parties. Look at the amount of money being spent by all political parties. And most definitely, of course, the BJP being at the center, the kind of rallies being organized each and every day.
To have a lot of money.
Of course, the Trinamool Congress as well, with Mamta Banerjee doing 4 rallies each day. So all these rallies cost a lot of money, and that money is being pumped in by both these sides.
You mentioned, of course, the woman voter, the Mahila voter. The sense that you are getting is... Okay, we'll try and go to Preeti in a moment, but Paulomi, did you get a sense that the average voter in Bengal is simply now wanting a better life? Mamta came to power making a lot of promises, some of which she delivered, Kanya Shri, Rupa Shri, these are all effective schemes, but people want more. And more in particular, they want jobs.
Yeah.
You got a sense that the industrial decline of Bengal has been the weakness of Mamta Banerjee.
Absolutely. That definitely has been one of the key aspects that people talk about when you meet them, For instance, I was in Shingur yesterday, and this is one of the birthplaces of, the land agitation movement.
Yes,
and
with the nano
catapulted her into political stardom and brought her to power in 2011. But speak to the people in Shingur today and they talk about jobs, they talk about industry, and that is what the BJP is promising them right now. And that is something that they're definitely attracted to, that promise.
Very interesting that you're saying that jobs is a major issue. I want to ask all of you, as we conclude, if there is one thing that you believe is the true pariborton that you really want to bring in Kolkata or Bengal, you start, Mr. Shikdor, since your great dream now is to conquer Bengal. What is the one thing you would do to bring Ashol Parivartan? What does Ashol Parivartan really mean? What is this great new Bengal you are going to build?
Actually, government, who will run the government as government, not as a political party. Law will take his own course and government will run as a impartial government.
You know, that's a nice word you use, law will take its own course, because when Shuvendu Adhikari was in Trinamool, when Mukul Roy was in Trinamool, when Arjun Singh was in Trinamool, they were all seen as corrupt by you. You all identified them with Narda, Sarda. The moment they have entered the BJP, you seem to have a washing machine agency. You're cleaning up everyone.
Are all the investigation has stopped? The agencies are doing investigation.
Come on, Sikdarda.
Just let it be.
No, for example, Abhishek Banerjee. You all have made serious allegations against him. But why is it that the investigation only happened before the election? Why can't you do it for 5 years?
That you should ask CBI.
No, I'm asking you. Are you really telling me that?
I just told you, okay, law will take his own course.
But the law takes its own course.
We don't believe in controlling any agency.
You don't believe in that?
No, never. That's why I'm telling you.
Okay. Mukulda and Shuvendu Adhikari, washing machine. But go ahead. For you also, the question is, Mamata Banerjee's party today is identified in a way with so-called corruption of Abhishek Banerjee. Many leaders have left because they believe the party is now about Didi and her nephew. How do you respond to that? You're struggling for an answer.
No, I'm thinking because how could such a senior journalist like you ask me this question also? So that's the only thing I'm thinking.
To ask. I'm asking a question that many people are asking.
So the only thing I can say, Didi is the supreme leader of the party.
Okay.
And Didi decides how this party is going to be run. Didi's belief is in the constitution, and the question that you asked, Mr. Shikdar, let me also take that question. If we are voted back to power for the third time, we would improve on the development indices, the work that we started a long time back. We have worked on the infrastructure for the last 10 years. And this time, we are going to concentrate on the type of industrialization which Bengal can afford. We are not going to forcibly take away land from people. Under no cost are we going to do that.
Okay.
We are going to see that there's no lopsided development. We are going to see that inequality, which has almost reached a new high in India today, that is not the picture in Bengal, Mr. Sardesai.
Okay, so it has taken you 10 years to recognize that. That's a good recognition. But I want to ask you, Kamrul Zaman, at the end of the day, you are the third front. You say what you want. Wherever we travel, we see a bipolarity. But I will still ask you, very simply this. You are fighting the left in Kerala. Here you have joined hands with them. Now, how is this going to work? The left has made it very clear they will have no truck with Mamata Banerjee post-poll. But will the Congress tie up with them? Is that your attempt to prevent the BJP from coming to power? Will we see a Maharashtra in Bengal?
No. Why? The Maharashtra is a different story. Kerala is a different story. Bengal will be a different story. Rajdeep, we are here into this election with a notion that we will provide equal opportunity for all section of the people.
Okay.
That is our first motto, and the entire what we have developed, the three parties, major parties, is this only, the equal opportunity for all section. Now coming to your second point, that if in case of a hung assembly, let me break down to that level. In case of a hung assembly, what will happen? I am definitely telling you the words of Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, our Bengal president. We will in no way go and side with the Trinamool Congress. The authoritarian Trinamool Congress, BJP is out of question. We will not side with them. Come what may, we might have a new election.
I have a small question to you.
Okay.
If Rahul Gandhi ji says that you have to do a coalition with Trinamool Congress, what will you do?
I know that.
Yes.
I know that. Sikdar Babu doesn't know, I suppose. Rahul Gandhi is an MP from Kerala. We have got our own AICC president in Sonia Gandhi. The entire decision breaks down from the block level till the AICC level. So it's hypothetical thinking. So Sonia Gandhi acts on the advice of the PCC here.
It's very interesting The Congress representative on the show says Rahul Gandhi doesn't take our decisions.
That's why he's
The
not coming.
BJP representative says, look, we have no influence on the agencies. And the Trinamool representative says, we are not a party of Didi and Abhishek. Fair enough.
I never said that Didi and Abhishek. I said Didi is a
Supreme leader. Okay. Supreme leader. Either way, this is going to be a fascinating election in Bengal, the kind of which this state has never seen. I hope that Bengal, whoever comes to power, gets Ashol Parivartan, because we want a stronger, better Bengal, whoever comes to power. I'm not going to ask my two reporters who's going to win, because that will put you in trouble. But either way, thank you very much for joining me. And I'm going to take a break, because today's been a sad day. When we return, we're in front of Victoria Memorial, and I can't think of a better place at which we will pay tribute to Prince Philip, who passed away. You'll be back in a moment. You're watching this special from Kolkata. The city of joy has turned into a city of war. Back in a moment.